Yo, what's up guys? Before we get started with today's episode, I wanted to say that this episode is actually sponsored, and it's not sponsored by a company, it's in fact just sponsored by me. You know how YouTubers and streamers typically have like PO boxes you can send stuff to if you wanted to? I've always really liked that idea, but I never really liked the idea of having a PO box. Because for one, you never really know what someone's gonna send you, and some weirdo could send you some really weird stuff, and I don't really like that idea. Also, PO boxes cost money, they're just inconvenient because you have to go get the stuff and all of that. And if you really think about it as a viewer, it's even more inconvenient if you want to send something because you gotta pay for shipping, you have to, you know, sometimes that costs a lot of money, especially if you're like from out of the country or whatever and you're shipping internationally. And there's so many bonus steps, like you have to make a box, you have to pack everything, you have to go off to your post office to ship it out. It's just time consuming, a lot of effort, and just generally inconvenient. Well, you see, that's where I found a really good solution to all of that. And that solution is called Throne. Basically, it's a website where I can put up a list of different things I'd like to receive. And then basically all you have to do is find something you like, click order, and that's basically it. It protects your private information, it protects my private information, the company handles all the shipping. It's fast, it's effortless, and it's pretty cool. If you don't like anything that's on my list or you have a specific gift in mind, you can actually suggest a gift as well. I think this is a pretty cool idea because a lot of the different stuff I have on my list includes a lot of like manga, because I want to collect manga, I want to read manga, that way I can share them with you guys. Getting the first volume of the Fullmetal Alchemist manga would be really cool, for instance. And if for some reason you're not convinced that this is legit, I can tell you that it absolutely is, because someone from my stream actually sent me a gift already. It's right here. This is my first and only gift I've gotten from Throne so far, and I figure it would be fun to unbox it with you guys right now to show you what I got, because, spoiler alert, it's Fullmetal Alchemist related. I wore my Fullmetal Alchemist hoodie again. I don't usually wear this because I look like a giant geek. I haven't worn this since like episode 7, but I figured this would be a good occasion because I got a gift. All right, let's check it out. Look at that. It is the Fullmetal Alchemist pocket watch, the one Edward carries around. The very same. Take a look at this. This is pretty cool. It's got the crest right on the front. My lighting is so bad. I am so sorry. Check it out. It's got the crest on the front. My camera doesn't like to focus, so I'm trying to keep it in focus. It's got the crest on the front, and it's not only just outwardly cool, it actually pops open. It opens up. Right in the middle, you've got the Fullmetal Alchemist symbol, the one that's, you know, right here. And it's also the really important detail on the inside, and let's see if my camera actually can focus on this. There it is. It has the proper Edward Elric engraving right on the inside. It's pretty cool. It also has the chain to go with it. You can attach it. It has a little pocket holster to slide it in the sleeve or whatever in case you want to wear it around, which I'm not going to do, but it's an option, I guess, if you wanted to. I guess overall it looks like I'm gearing up for a Edward Elric cosplay. I'm not planning on it, but it's still pretty cool anyway. It's a cool piece of memorabilia. I'm gonna put it over on my shelf. Thank you very much to Xenon Blues, who's the one that sent this to me. Of course, none of this has to be done. I'm not getting paid by Throne to say any of this. I just thought it would be a cool alternative to having a PO box. And I also thought it would be really cool to have my viewers be able to share things with me. For example, if you've ever wanted me to read a specific manga, you can go ahead and suggest the manga, and then, you know, why not? I mean, sure, I'll take another manga, why not? I promise I'll read it if you send it to me. The list will always be in my video descriptions. You can check it out on YouTube as well if you miss it. This has been a long ad, but I appreciate you guys hearing me out. One thing I forgot to mention is that if somebody does get me a gift, it automatically tweets it with their username, so that way they get a bit of credit. Everybody can see what I've been ordered. So go follow me over on Twitter as well. It's kind of like a little shout out I can give you guys. It's your own personalized tweet. Let's get into the episode. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. This time we're on episode 35. Last we left off, Sloth invaded the northern wall of Briggs for some reason. He dug up from the underground and now he's here. They're all trying to fight him. Olivier says that she has a way to actually kill Sloth, so I'm curious to see what that is. I'm thinking maybe she uses like the environment outside to kill him, although I don't know if like cold would do something, or maybe they'll drop him like deep in a pit or something. Maybe they'll burn him, use lava or fire or something. I don't know. I have no idea. Clearly just standard artillery isn't going to work, so she's gonna pull off something. I don't really know what. Putting everything that's happening with Sloth aside, Scar is still out there somewhere. I'm sure he's still heading up north. Kimblee's in a hospital somewhere, I think, probably still recovering. Although if Kimblee has the Philosopher's Stone, and if my memory serves correctly, I think he has two. He has the one he initially had, and then Envy gave him one as well. I don't know why he can't use those to heal himself, right? Because it wouldn't need any equivalent exchange. It should be within his power to do that, as long as he knows how to. Maybe he doesn't know the alchemy to do that, or actually it would be more alkahestry, has to do with more with healing. But I don't know, because Father healed Ed and Father wasn't using alkahestry, so I don't really know what's going on. Either way, I don't know why Kimblee is still in the hospital. Maybe he's not. And then we have Mei Cheng as well. Mei Cheng and Dr. Marco heading north as well. So we got a lot to catch up on with our characters. I'm ready to get into it. Thank you guys for joining me. Let's jump right into episode 35. Episode 35, The Shape of This Country.
Now you get to see the Briggs way, kid.
Let's see it.
Briggs way?
That's right.
Sounds violent.
Alchemist. Give me a hand.
Brother!
You too, Tin Man.
Hey, hold on. We can't just...
You were forced to help us under duress.
Okay.
That excuse
This
for
guy,
failure.
you gotta relax.
Head for gate 8.
Why does he have to have him at gunpoint? He ranks higher than him.
Let's move! Drive it into the elevator!
It'd probably do good to just run him over with the tank, but it doesn't look like that's possible. Jesus. Oh my god, they're just tanks on tanks.
Close it!
Sir,
Are they gonna like drop him in the elevator, like just plummet far down or something? Oh! It took 3 tanks to push this guy, but this guy just threw him over his head. What? Is that gas? They're gonna burn him?
What next?
Yeah, how are you planning to get this big guy through the gate exactly?
Yeah, they're gonna burn him or something. Or not? I thought that was gonna be like a flamethrower, maybe.
Move it! You little runt!
Ow.
Hey, one more!
we're out of ammo. Well, in that case,
Would that actually do anything? I mean, okay, good thinking, I guess. Maybe they're trying to freeze him after all. It sounded like they poured like gasoline on him. Man. There we go. Fix the buffering. Yeah, so they're trying to freeze him after all, but
that fuel is specially blended for the cold.
oh, okay.
Vaporize almost instantly, and as it evaporates, it will sap his body heat. This blizzard will help too. It'll freeze him right down to his brain.
That's pretty smart, actually.
So cold. Body will
That's pretty brutal. I mean, it's not gonna kill him, but it's not gonna kill him, I don't think. He seems way too troublesome to go down that easy.
You can sleep there until spring, monster. All right, Buccaneer. Now take these two away.
Sir,
Couldn't he just like break his body apart and form again? Maybe.
Why are you doing this?
I don't know if he has that much control.
That was just the excuse you needed to fight, right? Besides which, I'm not letting you go anywhere until you explain exactly what that thing was and what it wanted.
All right. Yeah, I mean, at this point they were attacked. I say give them the info. Now they have reason to be on their side as well.
We sent a party down to investigate the hole. They should be back any time now. Also, Major Miles is at the hospital.
Is he hurt?
Hardly. He's there visiting a soldier who was wounded fighting
Oh,
Scar.
Kimblee.
Stars in the north now?
Oh, Miles is visiting him.
here they are.
That's that's something. I need to stop using the word interesting so much. I say it too much.
I'm impressed. You guys stick together. You really seem to care.
Well,
Yeah,
here at
I'd earn
Briggs,
some respect with all that though.
You saved our pals back there, so that makes you our pal as well.
Well, you want to let your pal out of here then?
No, we're not allowed to do that. Sorry.
It was worth a try, I guess.
Yeah, miss every shot you don't take, right? So yeah, this will be
Any sign of Scar's body at the site. He could always be
because Miles is fallen.
All right.
And I wonder how Miles will feel about Scar as well.
To us and focus on getting better.
Like how he will feel.
I want you and your people to stay out of this. The Ishvalan is mine to hunt down.
I hate to tell you this, but the soldiers of Briggs won't let a serial killer roam around free. Here in the north, the law is survival of the fittest.
Oh, he's showing himself.
You get careless and you get dead. Understand? You tell me what to do again and you'll never leave this hospital.
Holy Chad.
This case is ours now.
That is
Branch will
bold.
take care of everything.
I didn't expect him to do that. That was so Chad and so bold that it might have been foolish.
Another Ishvalan, that's interesting.
I mean, maybe Kimblee doesn't care that much, but...
Kimblee, and how are you recovering?
Oh, it's this guy.
Hello, General Raven. I'm not exactly in great shape at the moment.
No problem. I brought a doctor who knows alchemy, and we have the stones as well. You'll
Okay.
be fine in no time.
So that does answer my question. He kind of just didn't have the alchemy knowledge to heal himself, so he just has to have someone else to do it. All right, damn, that was crazy from Miles.
Pretty complicated. This dragon pulse business is especially confusing.
It's about the chi of the land.
What do you mean by the chi?
I'll try to explain. Basically, it's an energy that exists in all things in this world, like rivers of power flowing through it. Those rivers are far-reaching. They touch everybody and everything. All you have to do is understand how that power flows from where it enters and where it leaves. And then you can use it to affect just about anything.
Interesting.
Anything, so the body too?
Yes! It could be your back!
Can she fix his face?
So, that's it, is it? That's
Interesting.
your remote transmutation.
Well, after all this is over, she can become a chiropractor.
Alchemists don't use the dragon's pulse?
They do not. They use energy from the movement of the Earth's crust. A great deal of energy is created, then released during earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. That's what fuels our alchemy in this country.
Huh?
I don't know.
What? Wait, what?
Doesn't seem right.
Wait,
I felt that something was out of place ever since I got here.
well, that's like a huge info drop.
Especially when we were under Central. I can tell that there's energy flowing under my feet. But it doesn't feel like it comes from the land's movement. It feels like a crowd of people squirming around.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
What? What?
Fullmetal Alchemist.
So let me just repeat everything I just got, just to make sure I have this down correctly. Alkahestry is basically powered by the chi, which is like the energy or life force, what you say, the dragon's pulse that's within all things, living and non-living, whereas alchemy is powered by the movement of the Earth's crust from like earthquakes and volcanic eruptions and stuff. That's interesting. I don't really know what to make of that. And then she makes it sound like that isn't what it is. Like there's people underground causing it. Like it's alchemy power is artificial or something. That's strange. It makes me think of, and this is really just like, I'm immediately just jumping out there into theories, but I wonder if like whatever is underground, I wonder if like whatever's powering this alchemy itself is controlled by Father, or maybe Father's goal is to, you know, retain it. Like, does it have something? It has to have something to do with Father. It always has to connect to him somehow. Also, I guess now that I think about it, Sloth is doing all this digging underground. Does Sloth have, like, Sloth's digging have something to do with what powers alchemy? I mean, Sloth himself doesn't power alchemy. There's no way that's how that works. But like maybe Sloth is looking for something underground that's powering alchemy. I don't know. I don't know what to make of all that. That seems like huge information, but I don't know, man. That's really interesting. It has something to do with it that makes alchemy some sort of artificial thing. It's just really like the vibe I get from it. Like alkahestry is the true alchemy because of the dragon's pulse. It just sounds a lot more mythical. It sounds a lot more like sacred power, like world power type thing. Whereas alchemy sounds a lot more like scientific in nature, but it also just sounds kind of like it's fabricated. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see how that ties in. There's just so much to that I don't really know how to unpack it. I guess on a side note, Miles' interaction with Kimblee was really cool. I didn't know if Kimblee was going to like get mad that an Ishvalan was meeting with him or talking shit to him. And I wonder if Miles really knows like the details on what Kimblee's done to Ishvalans, how Miles feels about Kimblee, how Miles would feel about Scar, considering Scar's Ishvalan. I don't know. There's like some interesting dynamics going on with Miles, with him being Ishvalan, which is cool. I like that because I like Miles' character. Let's get back into the episode.
Lower some horses.
Yes, sir.
And I want to see the Elric brothers.
You're gonna bring horses down there?
Awesome. This is a serious tunnel.
I still can't
Was
believe
Sloth
we
laying down mine tracks?
this far through our defenses.
So has anyone else ever made it into the fort before?
No, not in all the time I've had command here. But once, nearly 20 years ago, there was a strange incident where the mountain guard was attacked in the middle of winter. Apparently, a mysterious woman stole food and supplies for a full month. I survived the whole month in the Briggs Mountains!
Yeah. That's funny. That's a cool little tie-in.
Now then, we're safely away from any prying eyes.
Spill
you
it.
can tell me everything without fearing discovery. And I mean everything.
Yeah, I mean, I just do it. Just do it. She's a good ally.
I asked you about that monster. Remember what you said? I can't answer. You refused me. And that, even as a hint, is a dangerous thing to do. I told you to answer my questions fully and completely. At great peril to yourself, you neglected to do so. I think there's something you're trying to hide, and you risk your lives to protect it. Something or maybe someone.
Go ahead, just do it.
This time, don't lie to me. I want the truth.
I think he's going to.
We need your help, General.
Right. I want to see.
Philosopher's
Okay.
Homunculi.
I'll just let it play.
Führer King Bradley. A mysterious man called Father. Corruption in the senior staff.
There are hostages involved as well.
Your childhood friend, the automail engineer, and all Mustang's men. We've done some joint training with Eastern Command over the years, so I know Officers Hawkeye and Havoc. And I'd hate it if we lost either of them. I would like to help them.
And, what about Colonel Mustang?
Let me guess, no.
I couldn't care less about him. I'd just as soon see him fall from power. That would eliminate another rival. Never mind him.
So it's not personal, it's just
what do we do
competition.
next? This tunnel here. I would like to know what you alchemists make of it.
Yeah, where does it lead to is the real question.
The tunnel probably didn't originate in Drakma.
Oh, I just had an idea.
This is just my guess.
Sorry.
I'd say chances are.
What if he's digging out the tunnel that will be used as like the sacrifice thing? You know, like how there's like a, I don't know if you actually need to draw like the, it's like a giant transmutation circle underground, maybe. Like maybe that's how they plan on sacrificing all of Amestris for whatever reason or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's digging out a giant transmutation circle underground. That's my thought.
We'll find it's dug in the shape of an enormous circle.
Why?
It has to do with alchemy.
Okay,
In
yeah.
our field, a circle is the symbol used to control power.
I paused like 3 seconds too soon. I guess I got the theory out first.
And now, we just connect the dots.
How is that possible? It looks like the transmutation circle from the 5th laboratory.
Yeah.
Is that so? The Philosopher's Stone array that draws power from human lives. If they make a Philosopher's Stone with something this huge, how many people will have to die?
Probably all of them.
I asked Envy if the homunculi were planning to use this country to create a Philosopher's Stone. But he just laughed at my question. And then he said, no, that was not it, but close. Earlier I had spoken to Edward Elric. I told
We're
him
bringing
that
this
maybe
back.
he would be able to find the truth hidden within the truth. 3 truths. First, that the ingredients for a Philosopher's Stone are live humans. Second, that there is a group of beings seeking to create an enormous stone. And third, that they plan to use the entire country as a transmutation circle to make it. But even all that doesn't explain everything. Ultimately, what is their motive? What is it they're really trying to do?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Seeking the secrets of immortality. But you can't let your search lead you to the Philosopher's Stone. By combining the information I have with your knowledge of alkahestry, we'll figure out these notes somehow, I'm sure of it.
I mean, is that really what all this is for? For Father trying to get like proper immortality?
The first of the conflicts happened in 1558.
I feel like that's something he'd probably be capable of already, but maybe not.
Attacked Rivier. That was the neighboring country at the time. And
It sounds so dramatic for something like that. But it would thematically tie in for like all these people trying to search for
it was the military.
immortality.
They were involved in all of it. Each incident was a coup d'etat or insurrection. Like in Lior, forces from Central would be sent in, and they would make everything worse.
It's been going on that long? So that means not only are they planning to use this country to do whatever it is they're doing, but they actually created it in the first place for that single purpose.
Yep, seems so.
My country.
Do you think General Hughes?
Yeah, before he was killed, he must have seen the transmutation.
He's like a million steps ahead.
Serving in the court-martial office, he had all the information about the military incidents. He would have known that something wasn't right.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought he would have figured all this out?
A dog of the military. But do you really know the ones you serve or what their true plans are?
You got a speck of power, and you have the arrogance to assume you're the one who's in control of it.
Taking all the way back to Isaac the Freezer.
I'm only doing what needs to be done.
I do not like this. As far as I can tell, there's only one place left.
And that's why he's here.
About your theory, the next place they're going to hit is right here in Briggs. Those bastards in Central. What kind of dirty plans do they have for my fort?
General, you're needed
Retreat.
back at the fort. Lieutenant General Raven from Central is here to see you.
Uh-oh.
It looks like our time's already up.
Excuse me, General Armstrong. I'd like to ask a favor of you.
All right, let's hear it.
Do you think you could con some information out of General Raven?
This has been like probably the most information heavy, dense episode yet, almost. Seriously, this is so crazy.
For dropping in like this.
General Armstrong should return at any moment now. This way,
please. Oh, and as you can see, I've brought a guest with me.
Uh-oh.
If it's not too much trouble,
Uh-oh.
perhaps you would be so kind as to show him around the fort.
Uh-oh.
I'd appreciate it. Thanks, Major Miles.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Miles is gonna get killed by Kimblee.
That was the first thing I wanted to do.
I don't want that to happen, but it's gonna happen.
They said they came here to research living transmutation or something. What could be more suspicious? I distrusted them instantly. I had thought about torturing them to get the information, but I am a woman after all. The thought of hurting those boys, let's just say I couldn't stand it.
Now that's rich.
Right.
Second, not thought twice about it.
Yeah.
But General Armstrong, aren't you known as the Northern Wall of Briggs? Walls aren't so soft as that.
Right. I was gonna say anybody that knows her wouldn't buy that for a second.
At my age, most women are expected to have had a child or two at least. Unfortunately, I'm well past that now.
Come now.
Is she really that old?
Lining up to have children with you.
Hardly, sir.
Also a weird thing to
I hate
say.
But like everybody else, I'm growing older. And my body is too. That Drachman monster, though, it had an outstanding body. An immortal body. Like something from a dream.
Is she trying to get in on it?
What if I told you that very soon, it wouldn't be a dream anymore? Tell me, General, would you be interested in a legion of immortal soldiers?
He took the bait.
He's so easy. He already told somebody else before. This guy's just like General Raven. He's just got loose lips, man. Loose lips sink ships. We all know that. All right, so this episode wasn't actually super dense with like action or anything. They did have a little skirmish with Sloth at the beginning, but most of it was just information gathering, talking, conversations, and all that. But despite that, this has to be one of the most like information dense episodes of the series so far, if you ask me. I mean, episode 14 was really big whenever we found out like Bradley was Wrath, and there's been different points in the series where we've gotten a ton of information about the world, but this one was really heavy because we finally went back and we tied in everything going on with like Sloth. We kind of understand Sloth's purpose now. We understand earlier what they were talking about with Marco, and how I can't even remember what I said in that episode because it's been so long, but when Envy and Marker were talking about like everything that's going on, and Envy said like, oh, that's not quite right, like you've got part of that right or something. They said something like that. Yeah, we just basically tied up some of the loose ends going on. The only thing we still don't really know is what Father's overall goals and objectives are, but I'm getting the hunch that it's either to like completely control alchemy or control, I don't know, like they're making it kind of seem like immortality is Father's goal, and I guess that kind of makes sense thematically because it's kind of what Ling Yao and Mei Chang are seeking, and it's kind of like the overall thing. But like, I don't know, I mean, the homunculus are immortal, are they not? I mean, they're not like truly immortal because they can be killed, but they don't like die of aging or something. So assuming they take care of themselves, assuming they don't get killed, they're probably immortal. Or I guess maybe they could die if their energy within the Philosopher's Stone runs out, maybe. This seems like a lot to do just to have true immortality, but I guess it does kind of tie in because Father's like hooked up to all these like life support machines and all those like tubes and stuff going into his chair or whatever. So I don't know, maybe that's what he's looking for. It seems to be like a potentially ultimate power type of grab. I hope it's something more than that. I hope it's something a little more nuanced than that. I know Father is kind of like the big bad on all that, and that's just kind of like the generic big bad thing to go for, but yeah, I hope there's something a little bit more to that. And even so, that doesn't really explain his relationship to Hohenheim and who Hohenheim is. I really want more information on Hohenheim. What an episode. I have a lot to think about, especially when it comes to the difference between alkahestry and alchemy as we know it, as Marco and Mei Chang were talking about, versus like the dragon's chi, which there's not as much to speculate on because it's quite literally, it's just like the mythical thing. It's like, oh, energy flowing within everything or whatever. But then alchemy and its relationship to like geologic activity, I don't know, that's just interesting. I'm not really sure what to make of it. Maybe there's some tie-ins that I'm not remembering or that I'm missing that I just haven't connected yet, because I feel like throughout the series, you know, it gives us so much. And something else, isn't it crazy to think about how far ahead Hughes was? I thought that Hughes really just, I didn't know Hughes had figured out all of this. I thought Hughes had just figured out that, you know, Bradley was a homunculus and that the entire military was in on everything. That's what I thought the extent of his like figuring everything out went. No, he figured out about the giant transmutation circle being formed. That's ridiculous. Isn't that just crazy? Oh, Hughes, you would have destroyed the whole plot if you would have lived. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Later.